But it's, again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, I'll take that down for a second. Hey guys, I thought maybe we would look at the Jennifer Dulos case for a little while. I am streaming another one, as we know, but let's take a look at what we have here, and we'll just play this by ear. There we go. I'm going to bump it up.
A fair reading of Swinton is that the defense needs to identify specifically which members of the victim's family they want excluded. And I think the court needs to balance whether or not their presence during particular portions of testimony could potentially influence their trial testimony. And so I think following.
So we know that Jennifer Dulos' husband was also involved, but he eliminated himself not long after this happened.
So we would ask that the court grant the motion with the caveat that the victim's family be allowed to remain in court.
You wish to be heard, counsel?
Yes, twofold. The first is, I do not know what the family is going to testify to. So it's incumbent upon the state to make a proffer. How am I to make a proffer as to how it will be influenced by other people's testimony unless I know that? So I think that he's put the cart before the horse. If the court were going to, however, consider that a request by the state, which is it's discretionary, but it also goes to the issue of a fair trial and due process, they would ask the same for my client's family. As the court is aware, the court has already heard during pretrial hearings from my client's mother, who's present in the courtroom. And if something arises where she might have to testify to some of the matters that she was actually present for, I would ask for that same consideration. But until the state indicates the nature of the testimony, if in fact it does not involve any evidence that would be influenced by someone else, that's a little bit different but the normal procedure is that all witnesses that are going to be called are sequestered, and that was what we would do if we were going to call any of the members of the family themselves. Thank you.
Counsel.
So just briefly on that, Judge, that's incongruent with Swinton, which I've cited to the court. I think it's incumbent upon the defense to indicate why they think a victim's family needs to be excluded from the courtroom. And the difference, of course, here is that the defendant's family and the victim's family are not similarly situated. Article 8 of the Connecticut Constitution specifically delineates certain victims' rights, including the right to attend court proceedings. And so therein lies the difference between the Farber family and the defendant's family. So I agree the defense witnesses should be excluded, but the Farber family should be allowed to remain.
Thank you. Well, it is clear that there are competing interests. However, there is constitutional provision that would allow, and this court will use the term according to the constitutional provision, would allow the victims to be present at every stage of the proceeding. That does not mean the victims can be heard at every stage of the proceeding. So the court is going to deny the defense's request that the state identify the members of the family and the nature of the testimony it intends to elicit. However, the court will grant the balance of the motion, indicating that no witness who testifies will be allowed to discuss their testimony after that testimony has been elicited with any other witness who has not yet testified. Filed January 10th, 2024, a motion in limine to preclude hearsay statements by third parties without determination of co-conspirator status. The court believes it does not have to rule on that today. Also, there was a memorandum in support of that motion. January 10th filing 2024, motion in limine regarding prior bad acts of the defendant. The court probably is not going to anticipate that testimony to come forward today if it were going to be elicited. Probably not today, is that correct?
That's correct, John.
Thank you. Filed January 10th, 2024, motion to preclude layperson testimony regarding cellular site location and geofence evidence. That testimony is not likely to be elicited today, correct?
That's correct.
So yeah, we'll just watch this for a while and see if it's
January
something that
10th,
interests you
2024,
guys.
motion
Because
in
I mean,
limine to
we
preclude
can look at a
pejorative
couple
reference to written
at
timeline.
the same time. There's not a problem with
Not
that.
going to be elicited today, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Filed January 10th, 2024, motion in limine to preclude references to victims. Well, that probably is going to be woven throughout the trial. So the court will hear from Attorney Schoenhorn.
Yes, I believe that the case law that I cite in here, particularly the Warholic case, is on point, that the state has to prove that that Jennifer Dulos was a, quote, victim, unquote. Whatever position we may or may not take, whatever we may think about it, is something that has to be proved. The case law is clear that unless we stipulate or agree that someone constituted a, quote, victim, unquote, and I would note, I'm not raising that with regard to the Farber family. They have an interest in the matter for the time being, but that's something that has to be proven by the state at this point.
So yeah, we've
there
been
is
working
no
on the
such
Tyrone,
And the bottom line
oh
is
my
that
word,
there have been many cases that
Tyrone
resulted- It's either reversible.
Tucker
to allow
case
the state,
today.
or for that matter, the
So
court to
go back
refer
if
to
you get a
any,
chance and watch that. That's
party or
very
any,
interesting.
individuals discussed as a, quote,
But of course,
victim,
this case
unquote,
here,
or
everybody's
it might be harmless
interested
error
in.
in certain cases, but it's still error. So I want to just make sure that that is not something that gets slipped. And that's why I'm filing it as a motion. It might be accidental, but the bottom line is, I don't have any problem with people discussing her by name. They refer to Miss Dulos.
Or I'm sorry, a 1990 case where the sole
Evidence is indirect evidence. That is, you may not ask any acquaintances who are lawyers or law enforcement personnel for advice or information about matters related to the case. The reason for these precautions is
Trying
that
to
in
catch
talking
us
to
up
others, you may
to a
be
point
influenced
where
by matters that have not been introduced as
a jury
evidence
is
in this
involved.
courtroom, and that would not be fair to the parties and may result in a verdict based on something other than the evidence and do not be influenced by the court's note-taking. Realistically,
I think we're listening to jury instructions. Okay, here we go, guys. Just waiting for the jury to come in. Oh, I know, Mexi, right?
This honorable school court is now open and back in session.
Please be seated, thank you. Bring the jury in.
Okay, the jury is coming in. Yay. Let's see what happened in this courtroom today. If I remember correctly, like I said, Jennifer Dulos' husband deleted himself not long after this happened. And his cohort here is going on trial for her unaliving and disappearance. We don't know where Jennifer Dulos is right now. We've dealt with the Green Goblin before, haven't we, Mexi?
State ready to proceed.
I am, Your Honor.
You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state will call Sergeant Aaron Latourette.
That one too, Zap. That guy's the same, Mexi. I'll look for him behind.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Please state your name and spell it for the record.
Lieutenant Aaron Latourette, spelled A-A-R-O-N, Latourette, L-A-T-O-U-R-E-T-T-E.
And your affiliation?
I'm a lieutenant at the New Canaan Police Department.
2 trolls, and we've only been
Maybe seated.
a little over 10 minutes.
May I
May
inquire?
inquire, counsel, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lieutenant Latourette, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, Lieutenant, can you please, I introduced you as Sergeant, sir. Can you please tell your rank? How long have you been a lieutenant? And a little bit about yourself, please.
Yes. I'm a lieutenant at the New Canaan Police Department. I've been employed there for 23 years, 2 months. During my time at the police department, I've had several schools or training in regards to motor vehicle law, criminal law, leadership, supervision, investigations. I've had several collateral duties while at the police department. Those collateral duties included dispatcher, firearms instructor, motorcycle patrol, special response team. I'm currently the team leader for the special response team. Throughout my career at the New Canaan Police Department, I have been assigned to the patrol division. In 2015, I was promoted to the rank of sergeant. And this past year in 2023, I was promoted to the rank of lieutenant.
Are you in a particular division or department of the New Canaan Police Department?
The patrol division, yes.
Previous to that, you indicated you were a sergeant.
I was, yes.
Were you in, or assigned, I should say, to a particular division or department as a sergeant?
311 shift, yes.
What is that?
The New Canaan Police Department has 3 different shifts. It's day shift, we work 8 hours. Day shift, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Evening shift, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I was a sergeant on the 3 to 11 shift.
Attorney Manning, if you could just instruct the witness that there is an interpreter. It's fairly difficult to keep up with certain paces. So the
If we
witness
can,
talk a
yes.
little bit more slowly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Now, you are well, actually, let me bring that back. Were you working as a sergeant then in 2019?
I was, yes.
Is a position as a sergeant, are you in uniform?
On the patrol division, yes. I was on shift. I was in uniform.
With respect to May 24th, 2019, drawing your attention to that day in particular, what shift were you working?
The evening shift, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And again, in uniform?
In uniform, yes.
Does that uniform also include a body cam?
It does. However, that day in question, body cameras are still new, fairly new to the New Canaan Police Department. We had a limited number of cameras that were shared amongst all the patrol officers on the patrol division. One was not available for me to wear that day, that shift. Either charging a battery or downloading the information that was on the camera. So that particular day, I was not wearing a body cam.
Are you all
Did you
interested in
work
this
with any other
case?
officers that day?
Yes,
Any other officers that?
I
had-
am curious.
yes. Officer Matt Blank, he was working 311 shift with me. He was wearing a body camera.
Now, did you have a?
Hey,
hint to respond to
P9.
69 Wells in New Canaan.
Good to see you. Yes, hey?
Yes.
Why did you respond there?
The police department had a report, complaint of a missing.
I
person
just
at the
finished
address.
streaming Florida versus Franklin
Jennifer
Tyrone
Dulos.
Tucker. So I
Where
thought
were
we'll
you when
jump
you
on
heard
here and
the
take a look as
report of a
well.
missing person?
I was in the police department. I walked up to the dispatch center. Officer Kelly Coughlin was on the phone.
Doing good. How about you, P9?
It
Staying
was,
warm?
The babysitter for Jennifer Dulos. And Officer Coughlin kind of alerted my attention and said, hey, why don't you listen in? She put the phone on speaker.
Based on what you heard from that call, what did you do?
The caller stated that Jennifer did not.
Objection, hearsay. The question was what, and it's non-responsive.
If I may, Your Honor. It's not offered for the truth of the matter, Your Honor. My question was based on the call, what did you do? It's offered to show what his next steps were in his investigation.
Well, the objection was hearsay. The objection is overruled.
You can answer, sir.
The caller stated that Jennifer did not go to a doctor's appointment in New York City and that she was missing. And given the information that Kelly Coughlin, our dispatcher, got at that time, Matt Blank, Officer Matthew Blank, and myself responded to 69 Wells Lane to check that property to see if we could find Jennifer.
What type of area is 69 Wells Lane?
She has
It's a
yet to be
residential area,
found.
And that street is a dead-end cul-de-sac.
Do you recall around what time you went there?
Approximately 7 p.m.
Your Honor, state has offered states one, and just for the record, if I can, I intend to show photographs with respect to witnesses. I have put them on a disc.
Good to hear.
Shown copies to counsel. I am offering that to play states one at this time. I don't believe that there's an objection.
No objection. I just wanted to make sure we're talking about the same, there's all these discs. So if I could just for a moment converse with counsel. No objection.
States one will be admitted as a full exhibit.
Thank you. And Your Honor, if I may, it is associated with a states 1A. 1A contains a one-page, I guess, screenshot of each of the photographs that the state intends to introduce to keep track of what is contained on states one. So if I may. Lieutenant Latourette, if I can please draw your attention to the screen behind you. Give it one moment. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
I do, yes.
What is it?
Is overhead camera view of 69 Wells Lane in New Canaan.
Your Honor, may I ask Lieutenant Latourette to approach the screen and ask some questions at that point? Thank you, sir. If you wouldn't mind. Thank you. Now, you indicated you responded to 69 Wells. Is 69 Wells Lane depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
Could you please point to it?
It's this residence here, the end of the cul-de-sac.
It's very cold here. Very, very cold.
And for the record, I believe you're pointing to the middle bottom of the center, I guess, on the screen. Is that
Yes.
correct?
This residence.
Thank you. Now, with respect to, you indicated it's a cul-de-sac, does it go out to a road? Could you point to where the road is, please?
This is Wells Lane. It does travel this direction, and Frogtown Road is out here.
You may have a seat, sir. Thank you. Now, when you arrived at 69 Wells Lane, was it dark out?
No, not yet.
how would you describe it?
Daylight, you can see.
Were you looking for anything in particular?
We are looking for Jennifer Dulos, the missing person.
What did you do?
Officer Blank and myself went to the front door. We rang the doorbell, we knocked on the door, and there was no answer.
And again, I'm going to refer you to the screen behind you, sir. And if you can, take a look.
Beautiful house.
If you can, please, do you recognize what's depicted on that screen?
Yes,
Could you please describe what that is?
that is a view of 69 Wells Lane from the bottom of the driveway, looking up the driveway at the residence.
And is that what Wells Lane looked like that night when you responded?
Yes,
Now, you indicated
Not
it wasn't
yet, no.
dark, it was still light, you could see. Is that the time of day?
No,
Yes.
still missing.
Accurately? If I can, just on the top screen, it does, for the record, Your Honor, it indicates 1-101. So it's essentially the first picture on states one.
So yeah, the husband, complete coward.
I'm gonna show you, sir, what's marked on the top corner as 2. Picture 2, do you
Look
recognize
at
what's
that
depicted in
house.
photograph?
yes, the front of the residence at 69 Wells Lane.
Now, you indicated you knocked on some doors. Is the door that you knocked on
Beautiful.
contained in that photograph?
It is, yes.
If you wouldn't mind. If you can just stand up and point, please. Thank you.
This is the front door of the residence.
Did you go up to the front door of the residence that day?
We did, yes.
I know at one
Were there
point
any
they do a
lights on the
video
property?
inside this house.
I don't remember.
Okay, if you can't, just have a seat, sir. Thank you. Now, did anybody answer?
There was no answer at the residence.
No, it states 3. Actually, I'm sorry. It states 1, picture 3. You can look behind you again, sir. What does that depict?
It's a picture of the front of the residence.
Okay, is
Wonder
this
how
door,
many square feet this house is. I wouldn't want to
is
clean
the
it.
same door that was on the previous picture
Yes.
depicted in this?
Yes.
Okay, if you can, just point it out briefly.
Have that amount of money, you wouldn't have to.
This is the front door of the residence at 69 Wells Lane.
Thank you. For the record, that's on the lower left-hand portion. And states 1, picture 4. What does this also depict?
That is a view of the front of the house. It appears to be the side of the garage. The right-hand side of that picture will be the driveway and the garage doors.
Which states 1, picture 5. If you can, just take a look and indicate what that
So what I'll do, sidebars, all that
That is
stuff,
the
I'll just
driveway
zip
leading to the
through.
residence, and it depicts the garage door area of that residence.
When you arrived that day after you knocked on doors, did you go anywhere else on the property or anywhere depicted in these photographs?
That's exactly
Yes,
it. You're right,
Officer Blank
P9.
and I did walk the perimeter of the residence to see if we could see anybody
You're
inside, to see if
exactly
it looked like
right.
anybody was home. We then returned to the driveway where the garage doors were, and we were provided a code to the garage door by the complainant, the babysitter, and we used that code to enter the garage.
Okay, I'm gonna walk through, ask you a couple questions about that if I can. But first, if you can, states 1, picture 6. If you can take a look behind you.
Look at the size of that house.
That shows the rear of the residence at 69 Wells Lane.
And by the way, this is obviously more light. Is this photograph taken that night?
It was not, no.
Okay, but it does it fairly and accurately depict where you went that night?
Yes,
Are there doors on the back side of the house, please?
there is, yes.
Well, where are they? If you wouldn't mind getting up and pointing to them, please.
There's a door here, and there's French doors.
Okay, thank you. You can have a seat. Sir, did you knock on those doors?
We did not. We simply walked around the perimeter of the residence, looked inside to see if those doors were unlocked. They were secure, locked.
Did you touch any of the doorknobs?
We did, yes.
In the course of touching the doorknobs, did you wear gloves?
We were not wearing gloves, no.
Now, you indicated also that you went back to the garage area. Did you attempt to get in through the garage?
We did.
How did you do that?
We were provided a garage code from the babysitter. Officer Coughlin provided that garage code to Officer Blank and myself. We entered that garage code into the keypad, and the garage door opened.
Sir, states 1, picture 7. You can take a look behind you, please. Thank you. Do you, what is depicted on that photograph, please?
That is a picture of the garage. It was a 3-car garage. In the center bay of that garage was a black SUV. And it also depicts the keypad that we used to open that garage door.
Did the other garage bays have keypads? Keypad
They did not
access?
know.
Now, as you entered the garage, what did you see?
The black SUV pictured, and it had a New York registration plate.
Did you do anything next, I guess?
Yes, Officer Blank called over the radio to our dispatcher, that registration, New York registration plate, to see who the registered owner was and see, who owned that vehicle and why it was there.
Why did you do that?
An attempt to try to figure out where the missing person was.
Did you enter the garage?
We did.
And did you describe the inside of the garage for us, please?
The left garage bay was empty. The right garage bay was empty. A black SUV pictured was in the center garage bay. In front of this vehicle, in the middle of the garage, was a door that led from the garage into the residence.
Is that door depicted on that photograph?
It is, yes.
If you can you just...
This is the door leading from the garage to the residence.
Thank you. And for the record, you're pointing to, I'd say, the center of the photograph.
It's massive, this place. The garage is the size of my
Was
house.
anything in the garage that drew your attention?
Officer Blank and myself entered the garage. We walked to the left of that SUV, the driver's side of that vehicle. We walked to the front of that vehicle. I checked the doorknob from the garage, leading from the garage into the residence. The doorknob was unlocked. We waited in front of that vehicle at the door until the dispatcher got back that registration information to us. While we waited, I looked at the vehicle and noticed that there was what appeared to be red blood on the front of that vehicle.
Can you
How
please
sad.
describe
She's
what
just
you saw?
gone.
A red mark on the grill area of the vehicle. And again, it drew my attention because it didn't match the color of the grill, didn't match the color of the vehicle.
Was there any damage to the vehicle?
No, we did not. We looked at the vehicle, did not observe any damage. Initially, Officer Blank and myself discussed it possibly could be a deer strike in the roadway. And again, there was no hair, there was no damage indicating any such collision with a deer.
No, Officer Blank was with you during this time period?
Yes,
And was it your testimony that Officer Blank had a body cam on?
yes.
If I can, Your Honor, the state's intention is to offer at this time states 2, which I don't believe there's any objection, if I can just confer with counsel. I believe there's no objection, Your Honor.
States 2 admitted as a full exhibit.
Sir, I'm going to draw your attention just briefly, if I can, to the screen behind you, and then ask you a question if I can.
Massive. This courtroom's a little bit better, not that freaking green. That other courthouse for that Tice case is brutal.
Do you recognize, sir, what's depicted on that photograph? Or I'm sorry, on that screen?
It appears to be body camera footage.
Is that the body cam footage from May 24, 2019?
Yes,
And is that actually yourself on the screen?
it is, yes.
Okay, Your Honor, the state's.
So this has been going on a while, this
I
case.
believe it is about 20 minutes. Sir, if you can direct your attention to the screen while we play it. Thank you.
We getting a tour. Look at that fridge. Look at this house. Holy shite. It's beautiful. Look at that place. Wow. I mean, look at the view outside, just gorgeous. Nothingness, trees, nature, piano. Jackie Kennedy. Just beautiful. This place is amazing. Wow. Oh, nice. Wonder how many bathrooms. Wonder what year that, like, I wonder how old it is. Sarah Boone would have loved playing hide and seek in here. Look at how green it is there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Unreal. I have no idea what room they're in now. I'm getting dizzy, but it's amazing. Another bedroom. Turn the lights on. Get lost in this place. Kids' room. Big bathroom for the kids, too.
No.
You guys been paying attention to this since this all happened? She's just beautiful, Jennifer.
Clear. Mhm.
So what, 4 floors? I'm getting dizzy.
Got it.
Kids' room. I've never seen inside this house. This is a first for me. So what, 2nd floor, 3rd floor? Stairs down. Oh, there's more stairs up. Holy crap, this place is massive. Whoa. Storage? So yeah, what is this up here? Is this storage, or are they making another unfinished room of some sort? Oh, nice sunroof. Skylights. Oh, look at that. So this has to be set up for the kids? Keep out. That's got to be a kid's room. I think there's another video done in the daytime as well. Look at that couch. Isn't that busy?
No. No, it looks like this is. You check that one?
Yeah, like the attic is a playroom type thing, I think. Yeah. I thought so too. Yeah, I think it is. I think they turned the attic into like a play area for the kids. Stairs all over the place. Maybe there is. I was going to say, surprised there's not a gym and a pool. Unfinished.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so peaceful. The size of that. Insane. Just more storage. Back to the main floor. See that
I got a
kitchen,
picture of
guys?
that one that was hanging there. I got a flash right back out there.
There seems to be more than one area for cooking.
You know that this has got to be a dated picture though. That's got to be a really dated picture. It's the pictures in the boys' room. Probably.
No, gloves on, which is shocking me a little bit.
Staff 3 to headquarters. 3. Alright, I've located that vehicle. It is parked on the side of the road on Lapham, approaching Talmadge. I have a secondary plate for you to run when you're ready. Connecticut. Go with the road. Connecticut 1, Alpha Juliet, Mike Uniform, Oscar 1AJ, NUO. Show that on a blue Mini Cooper, registered to us.
So how many floors do you think we just seen there? And I think this is the second cooking area. This place is a monstrosity. Great taste in furniture, though. Echoing.
Please, can you send me a mark unit, check on this vehicle? It appears unoccupied at this time. That is Connecticut, Alpha Juliet 69099. That is the vehicle, correct? Affirmative, Alpha Juliet 69099, yes.
That was
remain on scene behind the vehicle. Christian, you said you're on Lapham? Was that near the Merrick or more towards Waving? More
Yeah.
towards the Merrick.
Grab my camera from the car.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
As a lumber yard. Christian.
It could be a deer. But strange. His wife did something, but dried first. Dry edges. What's that? Yeah, when he just called in, he had a lot of stuff out.
Headquarters to 7.
There's some back here too. Is there? Yeah, down here too.
Are they spotting the red stuff on
Strange.
the
Take pictures. I'll pull the out to
Headquarters to 13 or 70. 13. Can I have one of your units break? Staff 3 located the vehicle on Lapham. Where is this? We're both clear momentarily. Pursuit 2015. We got Lapham near America.
Verify that was a plate.
Is that what they've noticed?
On the lower portion of the car. And it looks like it's been buffed or scraped or scratched all down through the driver's side.
Front and back? Is that what I noticed?
Oh, all right. Well, we're taking pictures and then we'll be out. And then we'll meet up with the captain on Lapham. Oh, thanks. Bye. Well, it's just strange in connection with the fact that we've got a missing person or potentially a missing person. You know? And yeah, scrapes on this side too, but there's no blood near them, so whatever they hit went down this side of the vehicle. Splattered all. Yeah. It's hard to get a picture of because the flash on this thing isn't working, I guess. Says unoccupied.
That's really good. Stat 3, just confirming that vehicle is unoccupied.
All right, fair enough. All right.
So
There's some in the tire too.
And the rim, from my
If
understanding?
you'd like, I can request the dog to do a track. I have 13 and 7.
All over there.
Received. I'll leave that at their discretion.
It's all blood. All right.
13 at headquarters. Affirmative. See if you can hit a K9. And before we leave here, if you want anything, we might need to track.
They're echo.
The jacket's in a purse.
As long as you can make access, you'll be able to track right off the driver's seat.
Let's grab that key. Yep, that's what I did. I thought he said he came back today. Mini Cooper.
The thing is saying that there might be an extra key that's in the residence.
That's affirmative. We're grabbing the key. The residence is clear. We're being routed Lapham.
Received. I'll go on the hotline so we can look at it.
Money definitely does not make you happy and successful in your personal life. That's a for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me, especially because like it's like a pattern here. You know what I mean? It's clothing. Right, not fur, but it's up here too. It's hard to get any of this. These cameras are. We should get better cameras. Hopefully, this is getting it though. Right? Usually, if you hit a deer and there's blood in your car, you take it to the car wash and get it cleaned. Especially a Range Rover.
That's a nice vehicle.
Let's see if there's any damage in it. I mean, this is grandma's car, so you never know. But
Big family.
okay. Get your camera out, get your light out of here. Wash my pictures out. All right.
stop. Lizzie's just being a sissy, guys. I'm going to mute.
Lieutenant Latourette, just a couple questions if I can, based on what we just saw. Now, when an individual wears a body camera, where do they normally wear it?
On the center of their body to project what kind of the officer would see.
Throughout the course of your walking through 69 Wells, did you look into closets and other, I guess, cubby holes, if you will?
Yes, we checked the residence for anywhere we believed a person could be.
And there was also a photograph taken of a picture of the children on the wall. Do you recall that on the video in States 2?
Yes,
Why was that photograph taken?
just to see if we could, who lived at the residence, any possible occupants of the residence, and to see if that might help us in identifying or locating a missing person.
While you were conducting the search of 69 Wells, did you wear gloves?
Did not, no,
Did Officer Blanks wear gloves?
no.
Now, there was also a point in the
So
video
red stuff on her
that
very
there
own
was
vehicle
purse
and
in the
scrapes.
kitchen. Do you recall that?
Yes, Officer Coughlin had relayed to Officer Blank and myself that there was Jennifer's purse was between the mudroom and the kitchen, and normally if she was not home.
Oh,
You're saying,
Well, the response was, the purse was between the mudroom and the.
never good when the woman's purse is left
And then
behind.
the-
We don't do
Does
that.
not know what was coming next.
Well, my question for the court's knowledge, my next question was going to be, why'd you go through the purse?
that's irrelevant.
Well, overruled.
You can answer, sir.
So the babysitter Lauren had told Officer Coughlin that the purse would normally not be at the residence if Jennifer was not at the residence.
Fair enough.
So we looked at the purse to see if we could find any information as to where Jennifer might be, and we noticed that on top of the purse there was a spring light type jacket, and inside we noticed a notepad that Officer Blank looked at. And we also noticed there was a key fob or a set of keys for a Chevy vehicle.
With respect to that Chevy vehicle, did you, well, withdraw that if I can. Did you do anything with those keys?
Yes, those keys were taken from 69 Wells Lane, and we ultimately took them to Lapham Road where the Chevy was located, Captain Walsh.
Where is Lapham Road?
Lapham Road is in the southwestern area of New Canaan, and it borders Waveney Park.
What is Waveney Park?
Waveney Park is a large acreage area in New Canaan. It is a public park that's open to the community, and it has several walking trails, has a dog park, has a swimming pool, has playing fields. So it's a community park.
If I can, I'm going to show you and direct your attention back to the screen behind you. The state is returning to States 1. Play, place on it. The kids, States 1, picture marked 11. Do you recognize what's depicted on that photograph, sir?
Yes, it's an aerial photo of a portion of Waveney Park. It also includes Lapham Road.
Would you mind, sir, getting up, if it's okay with the court, if I can have him stand up and just answer a few questions about that screen? If you could, please identify Lapham Road if it's on that photograph.
Lapham Road runs here.
And there is another road, I'm sorry, just for the record, that was, I guess, well, let me ask this, is that north or south? Or,
The way I orient Lapham Road in regards to this map is it runs north and south. And this road here is the Merritt Parkway. I call in the portion of New Canaan, Merritt Parkway runs easterly.
okay, so for the record, for Lapham Road north to south would be in the middle of States 1, picture 11, and the Merritt Parkway. Did you point to the bottom, I guess, left to right? Is that correct, sir?
Yes, this is Waveney, or sorry, this is the Merritt Parkway.
Is Waveney Park depicted on that photograph?
Yes, the area of Waveney Park is this area here, the open fields and wooded area. And the property also crosses Lapham Road over here. This area here is a mulch pile, The town of New Canaan Public Works collects leaves and they mulch them in this area here.
And just for the record, the Waveney Park would be on the, I guess if you're looking at the right side of the photograph, and the mulch pile, I guess in the middle, is that correct, sir?
Yes, this is the mulch pile. Right side of the photograph is Waveney Park.
Thank you. Is there an entrance onto or into Waveney Park from Lapham Road?
Yes.
Where is that?
As you look at the picture, the entrance to Waveney Park is going to be here. You can see the roadway going up through the park.
You say roadway, is that for vehicles?
It is, yes.
Is there any entrance to Waveney Park off of Lapham Road that is for pedestrians?
Yes, there's hiking trails all throughout the wooded area surrounding the park. Along the Lapham Road, there is pull-offs on the dirt area alongside Lapham Road, both sides of the roadway.
By pull-offs, what do you mean?
It's an area on the shoulder of the road. It's just dirt where vehicles have parked, and it allows a vehicle to park fully off the travel portion of Lapham Road.
And where are there cutoffs, if you will, or pullouts off of Lapham Road are they depicted on that photograph?
You can't really see them due to the wooded area. However, they're going to be north of the Merritt Parkway. So between the mulch pile and the Merritt Parkway, this portion here, we're
Beautiful area, you guys.
And, vehicles can park.
Let's see if I could. If I can, Your Honor, I am zooming in. To right, the mulch pile, is that on the upper middle to the left?
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
So sad they've been unable to find her.
Cutoffs on that.
It is hard to see because of the tree line, the vegetation. However, some of these open areas in the vegetation would be some of the pull-offs. Again, they're both sides of the roadway, both sides of Lapham Road.
Did you go to Lapham Road that day?
Yes.
Where did you go?
We went to this area here on the southern.
I'm not sure how much time they have slotted for this trial either. I do believe this one's going to go a little bit longer than the Tyrone Tucker case. That one seems to be speeding along. This one, I think, has got a lot more information involved.
Shoulder of Lapham Road.
Why did you go there?
Captain Walsh located the black Chevy Suburban that Jennifer Dulos drives.
Did you bring anything with you?
Yes, a Chevy key fob out of a purse located at 69 Wells Lane.
You could have a seat, sir, if I can.
And yet they still haven't found her, friend. It's just like, what?
States 1, picture 12. Sir, if you could take a look behind you. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes,
What is it?
that is the area of Lapham Road that I just described, the pull-off parking spaces. That is the southbound shoulder.
Okay. When
So
you
is
say
this
southbound
her
shoulder,
vehicle again?
Is that,
So
if you, well, could you just explain it with direction of the Merritt Parkway? Perhaps if you can stand up again, I'm sorry, but show, where would the direction of the Merritt Parkway be in relation to this photograph?
So the black Chevy Suburban in this picture is pointing in the direction of the Merritt Parkway. So as the Lapham Road travels towards Merritt Parkway, a Chevy Suburban is parked on the right-hand side of the road.
Did the vehicle look like that when you arrived that night?
Yes.
I don't know why the TV just went. If I may just have a moment, Your Honor, the
Yes.
TV. There you go. All right. I can always fix something. All right, sir. When you arrived, was Officer Blank with you?
We had different patrol vehicles, but we both traveled from 69 Wells Lane to Lapham Road.
Is there another cutout? or
Welcome to my
pullout
Twitter
depicted on
friends.
that
Good to see
photograph?
you out
Yeah.
there.
Could you point to it, please?
This area here, don't pull off.
It's the center middle of the photograph.
Yes.
Is there another one on the other side, like towards the Merritt Parkway side?
There is, yes.
How many cutoffs are on that side of the road?
I believe 3 or 4.
There are 3 or 4. Do you recall how many were behind, I guess, facing north of the Chevy, and how many were in front going towards the Merritt Parkway?
1 behind and at least 1 in front.
All right.
You got to feel sorry for these kids again, right? I mean, these people do this kind of thing, and these kids are left without
Really,
both
States
parents.
1, picture 11. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is that, please?
it is a black Chevy Suburban.
Now, what did you do when you got to Lapham Road?
We were looking for a missing person, Jennifer Dulos. Officer Blank and myself checked the trail that runs parallel to the Merritt Parkway. We walked, looked on the trail looking for anything that would lead us to the missing person.
Okay, when you say parallel to the Merritt Parkway, if I can go back to there, States 1, picture 11. Is the area that you walked depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
They have a lot better cameras in this courtroom.
So the Suburban was found in this area on a pull-off. Officer Blank and myself walked on a trail parallel to the parkway in this area,
Why'd you go there?
looking for any indications of a missing person.
Did you take note of anything in your walk?
No.
What did you do after you did that? You could have seats.
A police officer from Wilton Police Department.
Don't forget
arrived
to
on scene with
subscribe,
an
like,
officer.
share, and
Officer Blank I
smash
returned to Lapham
that
Road where the
bell.
Suburban was located.
What did you do next? if
That
anything?
thumb.
Officer Blank assisted the canine officer. I stayed with the vehicle and Captain Walsh on Lapham Road.
At some point, did you return to 69 Wells?
Yes,
Did you go into Waveney Park, by the way, at any point besides that?
Second trial today.
walk on-
I'm a little off
that you
kilter.
no.
When did you return to 69 Wells?
After the canine conducted a search in the area of Lapham Road and Waveney Park, no track was able to be established. So I was instructed to go from Lapham Road with a canine handler back to Wells Lane to see if we could do a search from that location.
Did you follow the canine into Waveney Park or anything like that?
No,
Okay. So when you returned to 69 Wells, did you return with Officer Blank?
no.
And what did you do when you returned to 69 Wells?
Myself and the canine handler from Wilton Police Department arrived at 69 Wells. I used that code that was provided to open that garage door, and we entered the garage. The canine handler stated he needed a scent item in order to conduct a search for the missing person, Jennifer Dulos. I knew there was a spring jacket located on top of the purse, so we went to that location, grabbed that spring jacket.
What'd you do with the jacket?
The canine handler placed it in the middle of the driveway for his canine to get a scent.
Now, did the canine conduct a search?
It did.
Okay, did you play any role in connection with that search?
No, I stayed in the driveway.
What did you do? Well, strike that. Did you go inside the garage again?
Yes,
Did you make any further observations in the garage?
yes.
What did you observe?
When we entered the garage, we went on the right side of the vehicle, the black SUV, a Range Rover. On the right passenger side of the vehicle, on the floor, I observed what appeared to be a footprint, reddish in color, could have been a footprint of blood.
States 1, photograph 9. So I'm going to have you take a look behind you again. You can. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
Here, I'm actually going to scroll in.
Oh, boy.
What is that?
It appears to be a toe portion of a footprint.
Is that what you observed in the garage that night?
Yes,
Did you make any other observations?
Yes, to the right side of that garage, as you enter the garage door, there was garbage cans. On the exterior of the garbage can near the lid, there appeared to be a red color that appeared to be blood.
And anything else?
Not that I can recall at this time.
I'm going to show you
Wow.
two more photographs if I can. Sir, if you could take a look behind you, states 1, photograph 8. Do you recognize what's depicted in that?
Yes. Appears to be drops on the rear portion, the rear left or driver's side of that vehicle, drops on the concrete floor.
And one more, please, states 10. I'm sorry, states 1, photograph 10. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes, it appears to be an area of the concrete floor that appears to be smeared, pinkish, reddish in color, as if something was cleaned up.
Did you, after making these observations, did you convey them to anybody?
Yes, I notified the shift commander, Lieutenant Ogrins, and Captain Walsh, who was still on Lapham Road with the Chevy Suburban.
What did you do next, if anything?
Detective Officer Patton arrived at 69 Wells Lane. It was determined that that location was going to be a crime scene, and the shift commander notified the state police.
Why the state police?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm hoping so.
May I ask, does New Canaan have a crime scene unit?
We have an investigative unit, but we don't have the capabilities that the state police has.
Yeah, bring on the luminol.
Limited resources.
And did the state police come out to 69 Wells that night?
Yes.
You must be having a busy day
Did you
there,
have any
girlfriend.
Further in, well, did you do anything else that night?
Yes. Later on in the evening, while still at 69 Wells Lane, I believe it was around 11:30 p.m., I conducted a neighborhood canvass.
This case is
which means
really
I go door to door,
interesting.
just seeing if I can find any information in regards to whatever the case is we're investigating. I did speak to a few neighbors. I was also looking for any cameras that residences might have, whether it's a Ring camera by the door or security footage cameras on any houses or residences.
Did you download any video cameras or anything that night?
No.
Now, at some point, did you get your fingerprints or palm prints?
Yes.
I guess tested, is that the right word?
Yes. One of the state police investigators from the crime unit came out and they took palm prints, handprints.
Oh,
fingerprints
okay.
And that was in connection of this case?
Yes.
How's that going, friend?
I may just have one moment, Your Honor. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
I just want to make sure that when I plug in my USB cord that it switches, so if I may. Good afternoon, Lieutenant. My name is John Schoenhorn. I represent Michelle Troconis in this case. I just have a few questions. The time that was on the video body camera that we watched, is that accurate?
I don't remember what time the video camera showed.
Well, my notes said that it started at 1757. That would be about 7:57 at night. Is that right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Let me rephrase the question. If it says at some point as we're watching it, 20:00.
Well, hello, Dandy.
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, were the body cameras even back then synchronized so that they were at least close in time to actual time that you were there?
Yes.
So is it fair to say that you were in that house?
Have you been
at
following this,
approximately
Dandy?
8 p.m. on May 24th?
Yes.
You said, I think you did say that it was still light out, correct?
Yes.
And you were not yourself wearing a body camera that night, is that right?
I was not, no.
Now, I noticed in your uniform today, you have a box in the center of your uniform just below your body microphone. Is that where the body camera would have been on Officer Blank that night?
Yes.
So it's center of the body, sort of view of the person who is wearing, correct?
Correct.
And of course, you've seen that video prior to just now, correct?
Correct.
As you went through the house, you looked at each and every room, right?
Yes.
You looked in closets. I think there's an answer to one of the questions by the state, right?
Yes.
And in a couple of the places, there was some clothing on the floor, according to that video, correct?
Yes.
Did you go through any of the items of clothing at that point, other than the jacket you mentioned?
No.
You talked about a
Must be.
canine. Was this a tracking dog?
I'd have to ask the Wilton canine handler.
Well, I was going to ask you, was there more than one dog that night that was sent to either to the house on Wells Lane or to the Waveney Park?
Yes, more canines were called to that area after the Wilton police canine had left.
You indicated that Officer Blank remained at that location, is that right? At the Waveney Park that night after you left?
Yes.
Do you know whether he accompanied any dog search? Any canine,
Chopper.
He did assist the Wilton canine that I was assisting at Wells Lane. He did assist that canine handler at Lapham Road and Waveney Park.
And just so that we're differentiating between the two, do you recall that that was a canine and a canine handler from the town of Newtown?
It was Wilton Police Department.
The one with you, what about the one at Waveney Park?
The initial one that initially responded was a Wilton canine.
All right, so same one or different one that went with you?
Same one.
All right, so I'm saying, was there a separate canine dog and a handler that came there that night that you're aware of?
There very well could have been. I don't remember at this time.
That was going to be my question.
Mhm.
So you did not observe Officer Blank accompanying a canine handler into the woods at Waveney Park, correct?
I did, yes.
You did.
Yes.
Was it the same dog that then went with you and its handler to the house at 69 Wells Lane?
Yes.
In the parking lot right outside of the garage, you recall, according to the your images, that there was a basketball hoop there. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Was the basketball hoop facing the garage or was it facing away from the garage?
Facing the garage.
You indicated that you took a key fob with you from the house. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you use that key fob to see if it connected to the Suburban at Waveney Park?
I did not know.
Who did you give that fob to?
Officer Blank.
Did you observe Officer Blank use that fob to open up or to attempt to open the locked door on the Suburban?
I did not know.
Now, if I could just go back for a moment to, there's the image, I believe, 11, states 11 on this exhibit. And I just want to clarify, if you would look behind you there, I'm not going to ask you to stand up, but this is the satellite image of Waveney Park. Is that correct?
A portion of Waveney Park. Yes.
All right. And I want to clarify directions. You said that the Merritt Parkway heads basically east and west through New Canaan. Is that right?
Generally, yes.
Right. So would you just indicate whether east is to the right of this image or to the left of this image?
East is to the, is going to be, rephrase the question, sir.
Yeah, you're looking at an image on a screen.
Mhm.
Is it on this side closest to the window and the jury, or is it?
No,
closer
you
to
sure
the
do
shelf
not.
where he's sitting compared to where you are?
It's going to be closer to the window, closer to the jury, the right-hand side of the picture.
And I'm just going to use my mouse for a section. You indicated, did you not, if you look at the screen, that you walked along a section of the park in a easterly, you said easterly, right? Easterly direction, parallel to the Merritt Parkway. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you also go across Lapham in a westerly direction, in this other direction here, across on the other side?
I did not know.
And so that we're also clear, was you're saying Lapham in this area generally is north-south, correct?
Correct.
Would the car, according to those pictures that we saw, the Suburban, looking at this image, on the left side of Lapham Road looking down, or on the right side from this map?
The left side of Lapham Road, looking down.
And so we're clear for the record, you're talking about the side where you see the leaf piles, the mulch piles that we see on that area, correct?
Yes.
Now, I just want to also orient the park. Does Waveney Park include any of the area to this area around the leaf?
It's
mulch
huge.
area?
I don't know exactly where the property lines are. I know north of the leaf pile, there is a Frisbee golf area that belongs to the park.
And does the park continue and then stop at the bottom at the Merritt Parkway?
That is the border of the park, the Merritt Parkway.
And if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, this area along both sides of Lapham near the parkway is raised, it's elevated above the parkway, is that correct?
I don't recall.
You don't recall that if you walked along in the park, parallel to the parkway, you're looking down, you're seeing the roofs of cars as they drive by on the Merritt Park.
It depends on the portion of the park. Certain portions may be elevated, but a lot of portions would be parallel to or even to as you're walking on the trail.
Well, I'm
It
talking
may
about.
be
the
a long
park
trial,
where you
this one.
were walking. That would be-
Parallel to the road, even to the road.
That side was even?
Portions of it, yes.
All right, so does Lapham Road then cross under the Merritt Parkway?
Lapham Road goes over top.
Over. So there isn't a big hill approaching the Merritt Parkway, is there?
On Lapham Road?
On Lapham Road?
No.
So in order for it to go straight across Lapham Road. it has
So
to
is
be
that her
elevated
sitting
above
there?
the parkway, right?
In certain portions, yes.
Well, I'm talking about where Lapham Road crosses the Merritt Parkway.
Where Lapham Road crosses the parkway, there is a drop down to the parkway.
All right. And is that also true if you go in the other direction, on the other side of Lapham Road?
Yeah, it's a big place.
What was the question, sir?
Yeah, isn't it also raised up at that point?
The wooded area or the road, sir?
The wooded area.
The wooded area depends on where you are in that wooded area, sir.
How about parallel to the Merritt Parkway? Isn't that elevated well above the Merritt Parkway?
I don't recall at this time.
Fair enough. So in any event, this area, according to at least this map, has a lot of trees. Is that a fair statement?
Certain portions of the park, yes. As depicted in the picture, there is a wide open field as well.
Well, the field, I didn't ask you about the field. That's up, as you can see, sort of across from where the mulch field is, correct? You're referring to this area that's in a different color, sort of a lighter green and yellow, yellowish green lawn, right?
Yes.
So I'm talking about the forested area.
Okay.
These are mature trees in that area. Isn't that true?
Yes.
We're talking about really tall trees with large trunks, correct?
Most of them.
And you can walk.
I know,
through that
right?
area without, falling
Might have to
over,
map this
a
one
bunch
out
of
if I
little
stick with it.
branches and small bushes, correct?
The trails are maintained. If you're off the trail, there's going to be bushes and shrubbery.
And if you go the park to if you continue in a westerly direction, the park is also bordered by something that we see in this picture, correct? This line here. See that?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
That is the Metro North Railroad.
Right. So in 2019, there was an active Metro North Railroad line that paralleled the western portion of the park, correct?
Yes.
And right here by the base of, the train crosses the Merritt Parkway, that's also an elevated railroad crossing, correct?
I'm not familiar with that crossing of the parkway, sir.
Fair enough, but right below that is a train station, is it not?
Yes.
That's Talmadge Hill Metro North Station, correct?
Yes.
It's a commuter rail station.
Is that when he starts? My word.
Let me just ask you a little bit about Lapham Road. Lapham Road, I noticed, we can go back to some of those pictures that we just
I'm going
looked
to
at.
make note of that one.
I think number 12. There's a
So many
double-
coming up.
There's, I guess, 11. There's a double yellow line, is there not, on Lapham Road in this area?
Yes.
So Lapham Road, at least in this area, is a major thoroughfare in the town of New Canaan. Is that true?
It depends on your definition of a major thoroughfare.
Well, we're not talking about the Merritt Parkway. So
Mhm.
I'm asking, is it a well-traveled road?
Yes,
So it's not a remote part of town where only local residents would use. Right?
Thanks, Chopper.
right.
Have you ever done traffic
I say
enforcement
thank
on
you.
Lapham Road?
I have.
Sometimes the traffic on a weekday is very heavy, isn't it?
It depends on the time of day.
Sure, people use the park. This is a main access to get to the Waveney Park entrance, isn't it?
It is one of the entrances to the park.
And there is traffic from your experience back in 2019 and before throughout the day, correct?
Objection.
Well, there was traffic back and forth throughout the day on the date in question. What's the objection?
There's lots coming up.
Overruled.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Back in 2019, that there was a well-traveled road that during the day, there would be a fair amount of traffic traveling back and forth on Waveney Road, including access.
Maybe I'll end up doing like a highlights video
Again, it
or
depends
something
what
on
your
some of these
interpretation or
cases.
definition of fair amount of traffic is. I don't have any traffic statistics, but it was a traveled road by vehicles, yes.
As opposed to a remote part of New Canaan, which there also is, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes, we do. Let me see if I've got that one down. Do you know the date by chance, friend? Because I got Murdoch in on the 29th.
By these pictures that we're looking at, including Exhibit 11,
Supreme
were
Court,
these
January
taken
18th for
that
Richard Allen.
evening after you arrived at the scene?
The picture on the screen, sir?
Would you, if you look at the screen, please?
I don't know if that picture was taken that night, because by the time I arrived in Lapham Road, it would have been dark.
That's
Or
my
darker,
question. This picture appears to have been taken at least during somewhat daylight hours, correct?
It appears that way, yes.
Unless somebody adjusted the lighting, but it appears not to have been.
Me
taken
too. Yeah,
at
me
the
too,
time of your
friend.
arrival, correct?
Correct.
But is that the exact position you found the vehicle parked
Okay.
in that turnout on Lapham Road?
It appears to be, yes.
Thanks again. Yeah, there's some coming up that are really going to be interesting. And this one is one of them. And again, so is the one that we were watching earlier with Ty Tucker. So many people think that that guy is innocent, that it's just, to me, a really, really interesting case.
By the way, when you arrived, the garage, was it open or closed at that residence at 69 Wells Lane?
The garage, all three bays of the garage were closed.
And you testified that someone gave you the code so you could open it. Is that right?
Yes,
And you opened the middle bay, is that correct?
yes,
And when you first walked in, you walked to the right of the vehicle, correct?
no,
You walked to the left of the vehicle?
correct.
And when you first walked in, nothing stood out to you immediately as being out of the ordinary. Is that correct? When you first went in?
When I first entered the garage, no.
And then you went through the house, nothing stood out to you as being out of place, except maybe the.
I got
fact
it,
that you saw
Dandy.
a
Thank you
purse
ever so
on the
much.
floor, right?
I just went to ICKED.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Is there a redirect?
One moment. Nothing. Thank you, Your Honor.
Lieutenant, you may stand.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If I can, Your Honor, call my next witness as well.
Nice. Yeah. Help us out on Discord, friend. I am planning on doing more of these, is the plan. More trials. Continue with all of my updates and car chases for a break. We're going to try it for a while. Yeah, well said. So that's her there, eh? Okay. Isn't it? I think.
Sorry, Your Honor. Aren't me.
Whoa, look at that dandy. Oh my God.
You could please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and spell it for the record.
Scott Romano, Romano,
And your affiliation?
retired sergeant from the Buchanan Police Department.
Thank you.
And you may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Romano, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So you are retired from the New Canaan Police Department?
Correct.
When did you retire?
June of 2023.
And what rank were you when you retired?
Sergeant in the investigation section,
How long were you a sergeant in the investigation section?
5 years.
Could you just describe briefly, well, let's start with this. Could you please describe some of your training and experience as a New Canaan police officer and then sergeant?
Whoa.
Sure. After graduating the police academy, I was assigned to the patrol division. During my time there, I functioned as a motor officer, a field training officer, an instructor, an accident reconstructionist, with a couple additional duties. And then after being promoted, I did patrol for a short time and was then assigned to the investigation section.
What kind of crimes does the investigative section investigate, I guess?
Everything from bad checks or simple frauds to stolen vehicles to murders.
Does New Canaan have a, I guess, crime scene unit?
Not specifically, no.
Now, I'm going to draw your attention to May of 2019, specifically May 24th, 2019. Were you working that day?
I was not.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and ring that bell for notifications. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Not working that day.
Did you have occasion to respond to the New Canaan Police Department?
I did. I was contacted by the on-duty detective who requested assistance with a missing persons case.
Who was the on-duty detective?
Detective Tom Patton,
And the missing person?
Jennifer Dulos.
About what time or how did you get contacted?
I was contacted by phone at approximately 9 p.m. Detective Patton explained very briefly what he had been called on and asked me to come in and assist him as we started the investigation.
Where did you go?
Initially, I went to the police department to grab some equipment, and then I responded to Lapham Road outside of Waveney Park, where Jennifer's vehicle had been located.
Were you alone?
Yes, I was.
Now, did you respond in uniform?
Whoa.
Plain clothes.
Where on Lapham Road did you respond to?
So the vehicle was located just south of the back entrance to Waveney Park on the southbound shoulder of Lapham Road.
Oh.
When you arrived, was anybody else on scene?
Officer Blank from the patrol division was there with the vehicle.
And could you just briefly explain what Waveney Park is, please?
It's approximately a 250.
Is that guy
acre park
moving?
Located on the south side or south edge of New Canaan that's used for different passive recreation.
May I just have one moment with counsel, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, sir, I'm going to draw your attention to the screen behind you. States 4.
Oh, is there? I had no idea. I'm going to be checking that out too. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
States 4, this is designated as picture 12 on the upper left corner. Just for the record, Your Honor. Sir, do you recognize what is depicted in that photograph?
Yes,
What is it?
that was Jennifer Dulos's vehicle.
When did you, what did you do when you arrived on scene?
I was briefed quickly by Officer Blank, and then I effectively took over securing that vehicle and making sure nobody had any contact with it until we decided further what was going to need to be done with it.
How did you do that?
By physically staying next to
I
the vehicle during
appreciate
the
it.
course of the overnight. I did a preliminary walk around to make sure I understood what was there and what wasn't there, and then basically just secured it so it was not touched.
Could you describe the car, please?
It was a black Chevy Suburban as depicted. There was nothing initially remarkable, although looking at the passenger side, which is the side that's against the wood line, it was, I noted at my initial walk around with a flashlight that it appeared that something had been wiped on the side of the vehicle. There were streaks in it and some marks that looked, although dirt may have been brushed off it without being washed first, there were scratches. And some small amounts of what looked like, from my experience, to be a blood-like substance in different locations on the lower part of the vehicle.
I'm going to show you, sir, if we can. States 4, picture what's marked as 11. When you mentioned you did a walk around the vehicle, well, I'm gonna strike that. How close was the car parked to the wood line?
It was up against the brush on the side of the road, so you really couldn't get into the passenger side of the vehicle without a little bit of effort.
Did you attempt to get into the car?
No, not at any point in time during the night.
Now, you mentioned those marks on the side of the car. Were those marks on the side of the car that is depicted in this photograph?
No, they were on the passenger side of the car that would be against the wood line.
Where on the vehicle did you see those marks?
I believe it was the right passenger door and the lower section near the running board.
Did you advise anybody of what you had found?
I mentioned to Detective Patton that I noticed it, and we just, at that point, kept note of it so that we could further look into that at a later time.
By the way, do you know when these photographs were taken?
I believe those were taken on the morning of the 25th.
So from, am I correct in saying you arrived at Lapham Road at 9 o'clock? Was that your testimony?
It was actually probably closer to 10:30 by the time I drove from home to work and then got to Lapham Road.
Could we at least have an AM versus PM? That's not been established yet, but it seems it's obvious, but I would ask that there
Sure.
Sure. So I was contacted at 9 p.m. on the 24th, and I arrived on scene at approximately 10:30 p.m.
Attorney Manning, before you proceed, you identified
Just
this
wow.
packet as states 4.
Yes.
States 4
Unreal,
admitted as a
guys.
full exhibit.
Yes, Your Honor.
without objection. She may not have indicated, but she asked me and I said I had no objection.
States 4 will be admitted as a full exhibit. The record has to be complete.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. And as I indicated, all the photographs are contained per witnesses, so that's why they are directed in that way. So, sir, you arrived on scene between 10:30 and do you recall around what time this photograph was taken?
Sometime after 7 a.m., but I don't recall exactly what.
Where'd
time
it go?
was.
Did you remain on scene the whole night?
Yes, I did.
Who took
There we
the
are.
photograph?
I believe that was Detective Matt Riley from the State Police.
And did you observe him taking the photograph?
I was present when he was.
Are you guys interested in watching a lot of this trial? Is this trial interest you like the others?
When
Input. Let me know what you think.
arrived on scene or on Lapham Road, did anything happen to the car?
So we eventually determined that to further investigate, that it should be impounded so it could be properly processed. So we did, the keys had been transferred to me when I took over, so I had the keys to the vehicle.
Guy in the car walked
We then determined
away.
it should be towed back to police headquarters where it could be impounded inside.
I'm trying black coffee, guys. I'm trying to avoid sugar. This is
Can you please
disgusting.
explain the process of how that tow would have happened, or how it did happen, I should say.
So we contacted the department's on-duty record, which was from town. They showed up on scene. I then.
Do you?
wore gloves.
It's yucky in
I
my
entered the
mouth.
vehicle so that we could limit any kind of exposure to anyone else. We couldn't initially start the vehicle. First, because it was left in reverse, it was not actually in park. Secondly, because the battery was dead. So what we did is used a booster pack from the towing company to actually start it, which I did in the driver's seat, and then I drove it up onto the flatbed truck so it could be brought back to police headquarters.
And was it brought back to police headquarters?
It was then put inside an impound bay, of which I backed it off of the tow truck and parked it in the bay.
Did you follow the vehicle, or the tow truck, I should say, from Lapham Road back to headquarters?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Why were you the person to open the door again?
Because I've been the only person that had been in the car, to our knowledge. So as far as police personnel went, I was the only one that entered it, therefore, again, keeping any disturbance to a minimum. It's the easiest way to take care of things.
After the vehicle was secured at headquarters, what did you do?
I then responded to Wells Lane, 69 Wells Lane, and met with Sergeant Albisson from the state police, did a preliminary walkthrough of the scene, and then we began to canvass the area to see if we could find any security camera systems that may have picked up any activity in that area.
When you say a preliminary walkthrough of the scene, what do you mean?
I was shown the garage area and a basic look at the kitchen area.
oh, that's like the tiniest part of that house.
Not at that time, no.
Now,
Amazing
where did you go
house.
after that?
So we began with houses on Wells Lane, actually just walking the area and looking for any exterior cameras mounted on any of the houses that could have potentially picked up any activity the previous day.
Sir, I'm going to direct your attention to the screen behind you. States 4, upper left corner indicates 69 Wells Lane. Do you recognize what's depicted upon that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
That is an overhead view of Wells Lane, including 69 Wells and the other adjacent houses.
Just briefly, and if I may, Your Honor, just if you can point it out. If you can, sir, can you please stand up and direct where 69 Wells Lane is?
Look at how spread out those places are.
Should be 69 Wells Lane.
Right up
Now,
to the bush.
When you walked the neighborhood, where did you go?
We looked at any house that had a view of the street, specifically.
Absolutely beautiful area.
That we observed cameras mounted on the exterior of the residence that did pick up the street and would have shown anybody coming in or out, or at least we hoped.
Oh, oh,
If I can, sir, when you say 54 Wells Lane, I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit. Is that 54 Wells Lane?
Yes, it is.
And why were you interested in this property?
So we noted that there were cameras on the exterior, and if I can.
If you can, please.
Specifically, we noted that there were cameras on the front of the house, the faces.
did you see that dandy?
And on the end of the house near the garage area, the parking court. And those appeared at that time, they would pick up the street view.
And what did you do once you noticed the cameras?
We were able to make contact, specifically with this residence, we were able to make contact with the owner and asked him if we could review the system, which he agreed to. And we did actually look at it and noted that it picked up views of the street from two locations, both the garage end and the face of the house, and reviewed it briefly. The owner was incredibly cooperative, did give us access to the unit. It was initially brought back to police headquarters to do a download of the hard drive, which we were unsuccessful at the time. Get access,
Oh,
and the
sorry.
owner wasn't sure how
Look
to
at that
access it.
dog. Oh my God.
It was returned back to the owner's residence. It was reconnected. We were
Sorry,
able to
guys. I've
use
got
a
like
cell phone
3
to
different things
review
I'm trying to
video from
gather
that
up
day.
here.
At the time, we targeted, based on information we had, a morning section where we were able to pick up pictures or video rather of Jennifer Dulos's vehicle leaving in the morning and returning, and then leaving for a second time and not returning.
Okay. Now, a couple questions about that. You indicated there was a time frame that you were interested in. What was that time frame?
It was in the morning from just before 8 a.m. Through, at that time, we weren't really sure, through at least noon.
Did you watch that time frame I guess, at the property of 54 Wells?
At the property initially we did, and that's when we noted her vehicle leaving, returning, and leaving again.
Now, you mentioned 2 cameras. If you wouldn't mind
And-
standing up and approaching the screen and just pointing out where those cameras were located.
So camera 3 is located on the south end of the house in the area of the driveway. Camera 7 is located on the face of the house or the front.
Is that a huge pool? Is that a pool?
And Wells Lane, is that the road in front of 54 Wells?
Yes, it is.
And if you are heading towards the, I guess, upper left-hand corner, what direction is that?
It's effectively southbound. So in other words, if you're traveling in the road from here to here, that's roughly running southbound.
And is there a road on top of that?
It intersects with Frogtown Road, which is in the picture here.
I'll scroll back out.
Okay, would be located up here, although you can't quite see it in the trees.
Okay. Your Honor, does Your Honor wish to break at
Yes,
this
the
time?
time is approximately 1 o'clock. We'll stand in our lunch and recess and resume at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so we're just going to zip along here. There we are.
Afternoon, Sergeant Romano.
Afternoon.
I think we left off before the break, saying the state was asking you questions with respect to 54 Wells. Do you recall those line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay. And you testified before the break as well about obtaining video surveillance from that residence.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. How many camera angles did you, or how many cameras themselves did you obtain from that residence?
2.
Could you briefly, well, what were their names?
It was camera 3 and camera 7.
What area did camera 3 cover?
That
Wow.
garage area looking south from the house.
Did it encompass any area of the road?
Yes, it did. It picked up a partial section of Wells Lane.
And camera 7?
Camera 7 was mounted on the front of the house, and that picked up Wells Lane as it passed in front of the residence.
The road that both camera 3 and camera 7 picked up, was that the same road?
Yes,
Okay, and is that Wells Lane?
yes, it is.
Okay. If I may just have one moment, Your Honor, counsel. Okay, at this point, Your Honor, the state is going to play states 3. So I'm going to ask you to direct your attention
And
to
stage
this.
3 has been admitted as a full exhibit.
No objection.
Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, sir, on 54 Wells, for camera 3, about how many hours did the New Canaan Police Department or yourself at download for that time or that camera?
We downloaded approximately 24 hours worth of video, one whole day.
And with respect to camera 7,
The same amount.
what was there anything of evidentiary value on those 24 hours?
There was.
About what time period?
The first item that we noticed was at approximately 7:58 hours, 7:58 a.m.
If I can, I'm going to direct your attention to the screen behind you. Upon the state's 3, I'm going to, for the record, Your Honor, play what is titled Cam 3 75800-75930. Just going to stop it real quick. Sir, if you wouldn't mind just explaining what is depicted on that screen.
So this is the driveway in front of the garage at 54 Wells Lane. It's looking effectively south, and what you'll see in the top right of the screen is actually Wells Lane as it travels past the residence.
If you wouldn't mind, please, if you can stand up and approach and just point out that area on that screen.
Sure. So this being the driveway area, the very top is where Wells Lane passes that residence.
Okay. And with respect to the numbers on the upper left hand, what is that?
That is the date and timestamp from the actual DVR unit or the unit of the system itself that puts on the video.
Was that timestamp accurate?
Yes, it was.
And you can have a seat, sir. I'm going to hit play. Sir, I'm going to Well, let me ask you this. Does that vehicle that passes appear on?
So we're in
another
the
screen?
afternoon
does
session
also
of the
shows on
Jennifer
October 7th.
Dulos
During the
case.
same timeframe.
States
Michelle
Court of
Troconis
States,
trial
state
for the
demand
disappearance
7
and
underscore
deleting of
758
Jennifer Dulos.
758
Beautiful woman.
And same questions. I paused it right at the beginning. If you can, sir, just explain what we're looking at right here.
So this is the front of the residence at 54 Wells Lane, the driveway, and then in the background is Wells Lane as it passes in front of the residence.
And the numbers on the top, please.
That is the date and time that the video was recorded.
I'm gonna hit play. Actually, if I can, I am going to pause it and bring it.
What's going on here? There we go.
And I pause it at this clip. It states 19 seconds. So did you watch this video on May 20? Would it be the 24th or the 25th?
It was probably the 25th and beyond.
How did you identify this as the vehicle?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. This is characterization. The exhibit speaks for itself.
Well, in this court's view, the exhibit does not speak for itself. There's more than one black Chevy Suburban. The testimony elicited has to do with how this officer determined which black Chevy Suburban it was overruled.
If you can answer, sir, please.
So we had previously located Jennifer Dulos' vehicle, so we knew exactly what it looked like. And as we reviewed the video, when we found this, it matched up with a vehicle that we had previously impounded. Therefore, we knew it was her vehicle leaving her residence.
Now, is this the same vehicle? I'm sorry. Is this the same vehicle that you had spent the preceding night standing by?
Yes, it is.
And is there anything distinctive about that vehicle?
The wheels matched up on it, and there are also stickers on both rear quarter panels, passenger and driver side. And those decals matched up with the ones that were on her vehicle that we had impounded.
And is that what drew your attention to this, I guess, segment?
Yes, that and it exited from the same vicinity that you could see in camera 3 was the same vicinity her driveway exited to Wells Lane. In addition, looking at the wheels and the sticker that's on the rear corner there. it
Just
matched
missed
up
a
with
cart
the vehicle.
chase with a
Thank
quite
you.
the ending, guys. So I'll keep my
So
eyes
did
peeled
you,
for another one
see
for
that
later.
vehicle on those cameras again?
Yes, we did. At approximately 8:05 a.m., it came back the opposite direction.
Going to
So
play
this
states
is
3
her Range Rover. Do I understand this correctly?
7_805-80540. Sir, if you can just direct your attention to the screen behind you again, please. And again, I'm going to pause it briefly. What does this depict?
This is again camera 7, which is depicting the front of 54 Wells Lane and Wells Lane itself as it travels past the residence.
And the timestamp?
The date and the time, which again is 8:05 hours.
And just to be clear, is this the same camera that we just saw on the other camera 7 clip?
Yes, it is.
If I can, I'm actually going to pause it and bring it back.
So they're just trying to catch this vehicle going through this intersection here, right? Or there we go. This is it coming back.
And the same question, sir. How did you identify this clip as its evidentiary value?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
So the vehicle, again, matched the vehicle that we had previously impounded. The wheels matched up exactly, and so did the sticker that can be just seen on the left rear quarter there.
Can you see that sticker on the screen at this point? I believe I stopped it or paused it at 24 seconds on the clip.
Yes, I can.
If you wouldn't mind, sir, could you please get up and point to it?
If you look at the rear of the vehicle, right down in this corner, there's a white sticker that's there just behind the gas fill cap.
They have the best equipment for getting close up
Again,
and
can-
recognizing all of
I'm
this
sorry,
stuff.
can. States 3 cam 3 _ 805-806. Sir, please take a look behind you.
And there it goes again.
And I'm just going to stop it at 45 seconds. Sir, is that the same time, or is the timestamp the same?
Yes, it is.
And is this the camera 3? I believe, is that the same camera that we saw previously?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, after 8:05 that morning, did you continue to watch?
I think it's Jennifer
these
Dulos'
cameras?
vehicle.
Yes, we did.
And do you see that vehicle appear at another time?
Yes, I did. At approximately 10:25 a.m.
I'm overheating now.
Is that depicted on camera 3 or camera 7?
Should be depicted on both.
Right. I can states 3 cam 3 _ 1025 to 102530. And I'm just going to pause it briefly, sir. Again, the numbers on the top upper left-hand corner
That is the date and time the video was recorded.
and the timestamp, please.
10:25 and 6 seconds.
Thank you.
Feels like minus 37 out there, so I keep cranking up my heat and then I'm like, turn it down.
I'm actually going to stop that and play cam states 3 cam 7 _ 1025 to 102530. And the same question, sir, is this the same camera 7 that we have seen previously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and the timestamp?
That is the same at 10:25 and 2 seconds.
Thank you.
I worry about my chinchillas overheating and I worry about my sugar gliders freezing. Yeah, add that wind and it's like, oof.
Stop at 20 seconds, Your Honor. Sir, how did you know that that was of evidentiary value to you?
We were looking for anything depicting vehicle movement, of Jennifer's vehicle moving, and the fact that that was leaving the residence again was of interest to us.
Do you see that vehicle appear on those cameras again?
We did not.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
That was fast.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is John Sherman. I represent Michelle Troconis. I just have a few questions. You're watching, how many hours of video did you watch yourself from the neighbor?
In total, it was 48 hours, 24 hours from each camera 3 and camera 7,
Whoa.
Did you see, starting when?
starting at midnight on the 24th of May.
Did you see any other vehicles coming and going that other than the Suburban that we just watched?
Yes,
Did you capture any of those pictures as being of any evidentiary value?
We did not. Initially, we noted them, but as the investigation went forward, they were determined to be neighbors' vehicles or visiting vehicles that had nothing to do with the case itself.
And you mentioned that there was something about the hubcaps on this particular, the wheel covers on this particular Suburban that were unique or stood out. Can you tell us what that was? I'm just curious.
They weren't unique, but they matched up with the vehicle that we had already impounded.
Do you know how many different styles of hubcaps or wheel covers there are for Chevy Suburbans?
Not offhand, I do not.
So it was the sticker that you're referring to that we see in the back panel on some of the video clips, right?
That was a piece of it, yes.
Without that, it would be like any other Chevy Suburban from around that year, right?
It's feasible, yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Oh,
Thank you.
Sergeant, you may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the state would call Kelly Coughlin.
so let's see here. Prosecutors allege Troconis conspired with her former boyfriend, FORBES Dulos, in the estranged wife's disappearance and suspected M. Jennifer Dulos, a New Canaan mother of 5, vanished back in May 2019 after dropping off her children at school. Her body has not been found and she has been declared legally dead. Investigators believe FORBES Dulos attacked his wife in the garage of her home and then disposed of her body and evidence. FORBES Dulos deleted himself in January 2020 while facing M charges. Troconis is accused of trying to create an alibi for FORBES Dulos the morning of the crime. She is also accused of being with FORBES Dulos when police said he was seen on surveillance videos dumping trash bags in Hartford that were found to contain his estranged wife's bloody clothes. Troconis is also accused of helping her former boyfriend fleeing a pickup truck belonging to one of the employees the police believe was used in the crime.
Good afternoon, Officer Coughlin. How are you? Good. How are you?
She has pled not guilty to
You work for the
conspiracy
New
to
Canaan
commit
Police
M
Department?
in the
Yes.
case.
What is your current
She has
rank?
also pled not guilty
Officer.
in second-degree
How long have you worked
hindering
for New Canaan
prosecution,
PD?
2
8
counts
years.
of conspiracy
Do you
to
work in a
commit
particular
tampering with
division or
physical
department of
evidence
New Canaan?
and
I'm a
tampering with
patrol officer.
evidence.
Okay. Do you have a specific assignment?
She's got a
No,
battle.
just general patrol. With respect to being a New Canaan police.
Yeah,
officer,
as soon as you
do
see her,
have
right?
Specific training and experience as part of that? Yes. Can you briefly describe some of your training as a New Canaan police officer?
I received 6 months of training at the Connecticut State Police Academy prior to working in New Canaan. Then we go through a field training program for approximately 10 weeks before being a certified officer on our own in patrol.
That's it.
And with respect to, well, let me ask you this. Are you familiar with New Canaan Country Day School?
Yes,
In what way?
I'm the school liaison officer there.
And what does that mean?
School liaison officer is a police officer with our department who is a form of communication or a line of communication with the administration at the school and somebody who visits with staff and students regularly.
With respect to, how long have you been a liaison officer with New Canaan Country Day School?
Since 2018.
What exactly is New Canaan Country Day School?
It's a private school in New Canaan that has students from pre-K through 9th grade.
How big is it?
I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. Is it one building or more than one?
It's a campus with multiple buildings.
If I can. Your Honor, states 5, I believe there's no objection. If that's correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
States 5 admitted as a full exhibit.
Officer Coughlin, I'm going to draw your attention to the.
Chopper was saying that they're expecting this to last about 7 weeks, this case, this trial.
By the way, Are you familiar with the area around New Canaan Country Day School?
Yes.
And there's only one photograph on States 5, Your Honor, just for the record. I'm going to show that here. Officer Coughlin, do you recognize what's depicted on that screen?
Yes.
What is it?
The campus of New Canaan Country School and the surrounding area.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind, Your Honor, may I ask her to step up to the screen? Would you mind, please? Thank you. With respect to New Canaan Country School, could you identify it on screen, please?
Yes, here.
Is it that area, or how many buildings does it encompass?
It encompasses the buildings up here, the fields to the side, and the buildings here up until Frogtown Road.
So what is the road on? I guess it is kind of going from top to bottom. I don't know if that's north or south. Perhaps you can describe that for me.
This road here runs north and south through New Canaan. It's called Ponus Ridge Road.
And the road that kind of goes across the middle but up the side, what is that?
This road goes east to west. It's Frogtown Road.
Is Wells Lane depicted on that photograph as well?
Yes.
And could you please point that out as well?
Wells Lane runs here.
Okay. And particularly, do you know where 69 Wells Lane is?
Yes.
Could you please point that out? And for the record, you point to the middle, center, right, I guess. Thank you. Now, are you at some point, you can have a seat, ma'am, thank you. At some point I'm going to draw your attention to May 2019. At some point, did you review video surveillance from New Canaan Country Day School?
Yes.
And what was your assignment with respect to that?
I was reviewing multiple sets of videos that came into the police department in reference to the investigation from different houses, schools, different locations.
When you say investigation, what are we talking about?
The missing person investigation for Jennifer Dulos.
So was New Canaan Country Day School one of the videos that you were reviewing?
Yes.
During that time period? Okay. And was there, did you find anything of evidentiary value on that video?
Yes.
What did you find?
Jennifer's vehicle was on the New Canaan Country School campus on the morning that she was last seen of May 24th, 2019.
Do you recall what time?
8:03 a.m.
And with respect to is that depicted on a camera footage, by the way?
Yes.
Where is that? Well, let me just, why don't I show you? I may have a moment, Your Honor, just switch this. State 6, I believe there's no objection to it being a full exhibit, Your Honor. Is that correct? The video, the clips.
No objection.
Thank you.
Stage 6 will be admitted as a full exhibit.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there, playing State 6. If you could just take a look behind you, do you recognize what's depicted on that screen?
Yes.
Okay. Going to hit play.
Well, hello, Dave. Good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well.
Officer Coughlin, was that the video that you identified? Or
Yes.
a clip of the video that you identified?
Yes.
Okay, if I can have 1 second and I'm going to pause it and ask you a question. Officer Coughlin, if you can go up to the screen again, and I know it's small, but in the upper left-hand corner, can't scroll in, there is some writing on the top. Can you see that?
Upper left-hand corner,
Yes. What is that writing?
2019-0524, referring to the date of May 24th, 2019.
I can't see that.
03 and 44 seconds AM. MS North, JD Video.
With respect to the 803 time period, or I apologize, I'll strike that. With respect to the 803, what did that mean?
803 was the time that this camera captured the vehicle passing through Country School campus.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Officer Coughlin, had you on, let me ask you a question. On May 24th of 2019, did you
No
respond
problem. No problem.
that night?
No,
Did you review or see in person the Chevy Suburban that was found on Lapham Road?
no.
Okay, so when you reviewed this footage, how did you identify that vehicle?
I viewed photographs of that vehicle, which were taken when it was recovered on Lapham Road and later processed.
And did you utilize those photographs in your review of the video surveillance?
Yes.
Now, actually, if I may have one moment, I just have to change it out. And I have a few more questions. I'm going to put back in states 5.
Hey, Dylan, good to see you. I'm looking forward to
Sorry,
it
if I go
too.
back to the screen behind
I'll get
me.
a hold of you a little bit early, and that way you can help me set that up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So don't forget, guys, it's hit your bell so you don't miss anything, because Dylan and I are going to be taking a look at the Karen Reed case first thing in the morning.
Just to
Your
back
little
it up,
squid.
that video screen that we saw in states, I guess, 6. Where was that? If you could, is the camera that video came from depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
Could you please stand up and point to where that video or that angle was? And what is that white building?
That's the middle school on the campus of New Canaan Country School.
Okay. And is that a one-way, or if you can just describe it, please?
The way.
Are you
in
familiar with
which
this
the vehicle was
case,
seen traveling
Dylan?
out Is a one-way exit out of the main portion of campus and goes.
I was just saying, they're saying it's going to be about
What time
7
does New Canaan
weeks.
Country Day School start in the morning?
Typically there's different start times based on grade level, but typically between 8:15 and 8:30.
Is there a time for drop-off, or that the school is open for drop-off of the children that go there?
Typically between 7:45 and 8:30.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Now, with respect to when you found or saw this vehicle on the video, did you share that information with anybody?
Yes,
Who did you share that with?
the other officers in the detective bureau who were working on the case.
And who were they?
There were numerous members from the New Canaan Police Department and the Connecticut State Police.
If I may just have one moment.
So I'm pretty sure they're going to be taking their break here quite soon. And we'll just zip through that as well.
I have nothing further. Thank you, Officer Coughlin.
Thank you. Cross-examination, please.
They just want off the stand. Get me out of here.
Good
I
afternoon.
just have a couple of questions for you. Was this particular camera that you just showed us the video from a continuous running, or was it motion active?
Continuous running.
And how long a period of time did you watch?
I don't recall the exact time frame, but it was a short period of time.
Thank you.
Is that it?
No redirect, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer. You may stand.
That was fast.
If I may, Your Honor, this state, if I may, I'm sorry, Officer Coughlin, you don't have to move, but just for the record, Officer Coughlin will be recalled. She's still under subpoena. The state intends to recall her for other parts of the trial and testify about other things. I did inform counsel of that as well. So
Great,
she's
thank you.
still under subpoena.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I believe Corey Clavey will be coming Next, remember for me just for
Lurking and working.
Seventh of 2010.
And do you work for a particular division or department within the Connecticut State Police?
Presently with the Western District Major Crime Squad out of Troop G in Bridgeport.
If you could walk me through a little bit, you said Western District Major Crimes.
Correct.
Well, how many districts are there?
So the state's broken up into 3 districts. There's Western, Central, and Eastern District.
And with
I
respect to
got you,
Western
friend.
District, major crimes, what, I guess, troops would it be that does it cover?
Each district has several troops within, and within each troop, there's a group of major crime detectives who work out of that troop.
With Western District Major Crimes, what towns do those troops cover?
Well, it would depend on the troop coverage area. So for Troop G, we cover a massive area, mostly like Fairfield, New Haven County. So we either cover those towns directly, or we cover like the state facilities, highways, so on and so forth. So it depends. If there's a local PD, so for example, in this case, New Canaan, they may utilize us for assistance, and we'll come out to assist them. But other than that, we just cover mostly like state facilities or jurisdictions.
Where is Western District Major Crimes headquarters?
It's in Litchfield.
If you cover Bridgeport, Fairfield, down to New Haven, how do you get up to Litchfield as the headquarters?
Basically, you would take Route 8, Route 25, and just keep going up to Litchfield.
That was a very bad question. I guess my question is really, how is your headquarters in Litchfield if you encompass a town area that is down at the,
Okay,
I
so
guess, the-
basically there's a command structure throughout the agency. So in Western District, the headquarters, the command staff is located out of Litchfield. So the detectives themselves, we branch out to the local like troops. For me, Troop G, we have detectives Troop A, Troop B, and Troop L.
And Troop A, B, L, and G would encompass Western District?
Correct,
When it gets to, and you're a detective,
correct.
is there also I guess, a crime scene unit?
Yeah, so within each major crime squad, and there's 3 throughout each per district, there is a crime van, and they basically handle like scene evidence, video, photography of the scene, handling the evidence, maintaining the evidence, seizing the evidence, and so on.
And the van would fall under Western District Major Crimes, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so where were you in relation to Western District Major Crimes? If you could just explain the structure a little bit.
So at the time of this incident, and still presently, I'm assigned to Troop G. So my office that I report to is in Bridgeport at Troop G.
Is that in the crime scene van area, or is that an
The
investigation?
van is located in Litchfield, where the headquarters is for the district, and they would respond from there. And it's kind of where they get their orders from.
What are the other districts, I guess, that cover Connecticut?
So the other districts would be Central District, which is basically the middle of the state. If you look at a map, top to bottom, and then out east would be Eastern District, and they'd be on the other side of the state. So
And if, by the way, if I use the terminology van, what do I mean by that? Just
So it's the
we're on-
crime van. So it's basically each district has a van. Within that van is equipment, and there's people that are assigned to that. There's several detectives, and their job, and a sergeant, is they operate within that van. Everything they do to process the crime scene is located within that van.
How many vans and crime scene units are there in each district, I guess, Western District, Central District, and Eastern District?
There's one van per district.
Okay, so there's only 3 essential vans that cover the state police?
Correct.
For major crimes, okay.
Correct.
In May of 2019, where were you?
I was where I am now, working in Troop G.
And did you happen to respond, actually, before I go to that, can you just briefly explain to the jury a little bit about your training and experience as a
Okay, so we go to a state police academy, which is in Meriden. It's a 7-month academy. It's kind of fast and furious, physical. There's a lot of academics. There's a lot of training on investigations, equipment you utilize, basically everything you utilize. Crime investigation, motor vehicle investigation, tactics to kind of like de-escalate situations, basically everything you need to know to do the job.
And how did you get to a detective with major crimes?
So that's a tested position that you have to apply for, interview for. You have to supply work that you've done, case work, whether it be search warrants, arrest warrants, and you go through an interview process, and it's a rank system. And if you rank and do well, and there's a position for you, you get the offer, you accept. So
In May of 2024, specifically, I'm going to draw your attention to May 24th, 2019. Did you have occasion to respond to 69 Wells that day?
yes.
In what capacity?
So Sergeant Bisson was patrolling the van on that night. He called me and informed me that they were going to be going out to a scene in New Canaan at 69 Wells for the report of a missing person. It was believed to be a large residence, and he wanted some extra help to handle the scene. At the time, I was considered an alternate on the van, so if they needed manpower, I would go with them and assist them in processing the scenes. So he asked for me to go, and I said yes.
As a, I guess, alternate on the van, do you have to have any specific training or anything to have that position?
It's the same training you have, you're taught by the people you work with, and
And would you only be an alternate, I guess, if you were in that Western District major crime
Correct.
squad? Okay. With
I couldn't get
respect
over the
to,
size of this house. Ole.
Wells, who was your
Huge.
sergeant that day?
Sergeant Bisson was in charge of the van that day.
And normally, who is your sergeant?
Sergeant Ken Ventresca,
And that is out of the Troop G office?
out of the Troop G office.
And that is, well, I'll withdraw that. When you arrived, did you have a specific assignment?
When I arrived, I was assigned by Sergeant Bisson to do the scene video.
What is a scene video?
So when we begin to process a scene, the first thing that happens every time is that we will go in and video the scene as is.
Don't
So you
forget
can
to
basically see a
subscribe
look of, like,
to
what we walked into, what
Dave
we saw,
and
where
to
things
Dylan
were,
at the alternate
if things
corner,
were
both
disturbed,
great
if they were not,
channels.
if there was evidence somewhere. Just
And I think
basically
I've got
the
them
general
both in
surrounding.
the
So you're going to
description.
see it the first time as we saw it when we arrived.
Is there a certain process or procedure that occurs when you go to assist in, or you are processing a scene or a residence?
Normally it is, we're going to do so, like in this case, is based on a search warrant. We'll wait for that approval once we know it's official and we receive, instructions from the supervisor on scene. We start, video starts, photographs follow, and then there's just a system that goes. We identify evidence, someone
Thanks,
handles
Maxie.
the evidence, someone does a sketch of the scene, they do a map of the scene, we do video, we do photographs, then there's collection of the evidence.
Let me ask you this, sir, if you're naming a lot of
Dave's
assignments,
link,
did
you
everybody
guys.
get a specific assignment, or was everybody a piece of everything?
Everyone gets a certain assignment at the time, and then obviously as you complete yours, you then assist somebody else with theirs if needed. So you're not just standing there with your hands in your pockets.
Okay. And your assignment that night was?
Was video.
Okay. And was there somebody there to take photographs?
Yes, there was other detectives that took photographs.
And you
I'll
also
buy
mentioned
the vowel.
collection of evidence.
Mhm.
Who was assigned to that?
Officially, I don't recall. Might have been Detective Riley, if memory serves.
Okay, but you didn't have any role in that?
No.
If I may, what time did you took the video that night?
Correct.
What time did you start?
So the video commenced at 4:21 in the morning on the
And this is
25th.
Dylan from the alternate corner.
And
Check
when did you
him
finish?
out.
Finished on the 25th at 5:31 p.m.
Did you have anybody assist you?
For the video, no, it was mostly me. Unless maybe if I needed some extra lighting, someone would hold a flashlight for me, but as I recall, it's pretty much just myself.
Was anybody inside the house when you conducted the video?
No. So as I would progress forward through the house, people doing photographs would follow, but prior to me, no one was through the house, to my knowledge.
Is there a initial walkthrough?
Normally there is with the case officer and perhaps the scene supervisor, but
Again, guys, take note of the alternate corner. 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we'll be talking about the Karen Reed case. So join us. I'll be streaming it from my channel, and Dylan will be streaming it from his channel. Hit that bell, guys.
I was not present for that.
Your Honor, the state's intention is to place.
Thanks, Dave.
7. I believe there's no objection.
That's correct.
For the record, Your Honor, it is approximately, I believe you said.
It's probably about an hour or more.
Yes, Your
Page
Honor.
7 will be admitted.
Thank you, mister. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, Your Honor, it is the state's intention to play the entire video.
So what we will do, council, is play the
Share
video
the
until
love.
3:15. Take our afternoon recess and then we're done.
Thank you. If I may just have one moment.
I want to see that video of that house during the daytime. I can't make heads nor tails of that place. Holy crap, it's
May I just have a
massive.
moment, Your Honor? It looks like my computer decided to stop.
But it does sound like they're saying most everything must have happened in that garage.
A couple questions before we start, sir. Do you document the entire residence in it by itself?
Yeah, so you'll normally start from the outside, do a full video from the outside, and then we'll start and try to systematically go through room by room, depending on the layout of the.
Oh, there you go.
In this case, it was a large one, so it was kind of difficult to seamlessly go through it, but, and then we'll end with a final picture of the exterior when we're done.
With respect to the entire residence, do you document a certain area if you find anything of evidentiary value in it, or what do you do?
Clearly, if we see something that we believe is of concern for the investigation or evidence, then we'll obviously try to focus on that and show that, so the people that may see it in the future can have an understanding of what we saw and what things look like, you know, prior to our collection. And
Exactly.
Was there a particular area of the house that you focused on?
the garage was of importance.
When, in relation to watching the hour-long video, where is the garage in the video?
It's probably towards the end.
Okay, why is that?
It was just, if I recall, I went through the front door and it kind of branched off and worked around and ended up coming through the garage.
Thanks, Mexi.
All right, if I can, just one question before we start.
And thanks again. Okay.
Actually, if I can, just have one moment, Your Honor. Okay, so if I could direct your attention to the screen right behind you. What is that?
So that's basically just a quick way that we show documentation of a case number, the location, and who's doing the film. So you'll see that in the beginning and you'll see that in the closing. And it usually will have the date and the start time at the top. And you'll notice in the end, you'll see the date and the end time at the top. So it's just to document kind of like, this is what you're looking at, who did it and when.
And what is the date and start time there?
The date is May 25th, 2019 at 4:21 a.m. military time.
That house is just amazing. '69 Wells or Wales, is that what they're calling it? Lane. Look at that place. Oh my God. I mean, it's beautiful, but no. Absolutely beautiful. But I'll only use one little room in there. Give me a space with my desk, my files. And I'm good. I'd never find my dogs. Wonder what a house like that costs. Sorry, slouched all over. I've been streaming for a while. Oh my God, that house. I mean, I'd love to go inside and check it all out. Don't get me wrong. So I think that's the vehicle that was going through those intersections, wasn't it? I think that was her taking the kids to school and then coming back. Three-car garage. Big bonus room on top of that. That's like another house. Just huge. This is just the garage. And the area here is just spectacular. I mean, they've got acres. Is that water? Maybe they have a sprinkler system. One, two, three. And then the basement. I don't know if I actually seen two kitchens. Well, two cook areas, one big kitchen, and then maybe another little side area with a small kitchen. See if it makes sense. I'm flipping real. I'd want balconies though. I'd be popping out some of these walls just to put balconies in. Beautiful flower beds. Oh my word. They're going over it. See, wouldn't a master bedroom, wouldn't you be popping in a deck? I'm assuming that's the master bedroom. Beautiful entrance. There we go. I'm just going to speed this part up a little bit. Incredible. I sure get every inch. Love that picture of Jackie O sitting there. I might even speed it up a bit more. There we are. I don't know why they don't have all the lights on. Like it just would, unless they do, and it's just not that bright. I can't see that. Not a big house like this. Wonder how many fireplaces this place has. Amazing. Yeah, they check out every single inch, don't they? They don't want to miss much. They don't want to miss anything. Look at that kitchen. Just spick and span those floors. Look at how high those ceilings are. Wonder where the kids ended up. I don't know the answer to that. Just heartbreaking. Hopefully she had sisters or brothers. Look at that kitchen. Okay, I'll take the kitchen, but nothing else. And I don't cook, so what the hell am I talking about? Nice place to order food in from, I guess. Ooh, nice window. Look at how organized. Like, look at all these shelving. That's just nice. Box shelving. Just spick and span. White as white can be. Looks like that's bricks. That painted brick there. It's a sturdy house. The flooring's nice too. Oh yeah, not much in this basement if I, right? Yeah, this is what we've seen. So is that two different sets of steps that go down in there? It does. I think all basements do that are. I'm trying to figure out, did I see two sets of stairs?
Man, we can stop the video now and take on. Afternoon recess. 3:30.
All right. Everybody stay on this arm right now.
Okay, where are we here? Let's see. Recess. There we go. Score. Nice old tub. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was thinking the same thing. Like, what an odd place to put your things. An odd spot to organize. It just goes on and on and on. This is Jennifer Dulos and her husband and family's home. Philos Dulos, 5 kids, and his missing wife, Jennifer Dulos. Philos deleted himself, so now it's 5 orphans. Hey, Twitter friends. Nice to see all ya. I just love the view. Like, it's so lush. Another bedroom or same bedroom? Office? Maybe? Look at all these rooms. They're just everywhere. Oh my God, it's massive. Kids' room. 2 bunk beds. The bunk bed. So 5. I thought they would all have their own rooms. Nice sink. So what's that? All the cops and stuff out there still? That's what it looked like? Oh my God, I'm just lost in this house. Another kid's room? Yeah. Just incredible. Jeez. Wonder how much a place like this would cost. And those floors just gleam. Like Mexi's mom's house. Floors blind you. Just wow. I believe that. Oh, isn't that? I was thinking the same thing, Dandy. It's heartbreaking. Like these idiots just ruined a whole bunch of lives. Bunch of little lives that are going to affect not just them, but their grandkids. It's just, it doesn't stop. I like this. Seems to be like a playroom or whatever for kids, but I like lofts and what have you. Look at that. It just goes on and on and on. I love this couch. Looky, looky. So it sounds like basically the evidence is confined to that garage. So this is another room upstairs, like in the attic area? Yeah, it is. At least he doesn't hoard deodorant. Okay. Yeah, we don't know. I'm sure they did, but look at all that reddish, diluted looking. I imagine later we'll see if they put luminol through. You would think, right? Wasn't there a couple marks on this vehicle as well? Some scrapes and red stuff, I think, on the back, possibly the front. Yeah, a footprint. The front of a foot. Active family. Oh, what is that? Bring on the luminol. What the hell was going through these people's head to delete the wife and just mess up? Look at that. More. Is that another footprint? I mean, parents, siblings, friends, children's, cousins, nephews. I mean, what? I just love how green it is there. My God, it's beauty. More diluted pink stuff. Yeah, me too. I guess that'll be later throughout. I've got it on 2x plus speed as well. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. That's what they were showing at the beginning of the live. Yeah, bring on the luminol. What is all that stuff? Yeah. Yep. Weird zooming is right. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. Look at all that. Oh, no. Did I see a baseball bat in there somewhere? Like just, maybe I'm thinking of a different room. What a couple of idiots. Are you kidding me? All right.
Okay, Your Honor, I believe, Detective Clabby, did that conclude the video?
It does include the video.
Thank you. I have nothing further, Your Honor, for Detective Clabby.
Then you're on the word.
Can we approach for a moment, Your Honor? Does the state intend to recall this witness?
I believe that Detective Clabby will be called later, Your Honor.
Well, then there's a housekeeping procedural matter that I would like to address in the jury.
Okay, let's see here. I think we're done. I think the jury is gone and they're doing their housekeeping. All right. So yeah, I wanted to kind of go through that and at least take a look and find out what's going on. I will probably keep up with this. We'll see how the streaming goes with this and that Tyrone Tucker's case. I'll take a good look and see which way I'm going to go. If you guys have any input, feel free to let me know in the comments or get a hold of me on Twitter or Discord. So guys, I'm going to shut it down. And thank you all for being here with me. I appreciate it. So I hope they find Jennifer Dulos sooner or later. Finding these remnants is just not enough now, is it? Okay, friends. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.